What up, YouTubers? It's your boy, the Visionary. Welcome to another episode of Firesidechats. Yeah, this is part 2 to the CT school shooting and the agenda. I have 3 topics I want to talk about. I'm not gonna try to go super in detail into all of them except for one of them. The first topic is really a question I want to ask to people. And that is, what do you think the main causes of these violent outbursts are? You know what I mean? In the media, basically, the main one that's put forward is the prevalence of the gun culture, supposedly. And saying that guns are just inherently dangerous and they should not be in the hands of regular citizens, or more importantly, just the semi-automatic weapons. And I honestly do not believe that's really the case, because guns cannot grow legs, they cannot jump out of the ground and just shoot by themselves. It's the people that take the guns and start shooting people up, and that's basically it. I don't think it's just the guns themselves, but I think the main component are the people, because if you don't have people, the guns themselves, you leave them on the floor, they're not going to kill anyone, they're not going to shoot anyone. It's the people that are killing people. One of the other causes that people have brought up that is interesting to note is the supposedly the effect of video games like Call of Duty. Like, everyone shut up, stop talking about the games. It's not the games. Stop trying to point your finger and blame it on the games and shit. It's not the games, motherfucker. It's really you can't really go, well, oh, it's because games desensitize people, and when it comes time to solve a problem, they just go, you know, I'm going to do what I do in the game and start shooting people up. That's bullshit. Stop you lying. Stop fucking around. If that was the case, literally 80% of the fucking entire population of the planet of men play these games, and you don't see massive fucking shootings all around the world happening like, oh, because we play this game, this is what happens. No, this is bullshit. You're only really starting to see these situations now, like literally within the last year of Obama, his second term, his presidency, where the shootings are happening, and most people don't understand that Obama has for the longest had a mission, a job to restrict or take guns away from the public. Like, this isn't something that's new. This has been in the works for a long time. Even before he became president, this was Bush's MO. This was Clinton's MO. This has been the agenda all along, to slowly but surely, through gradualism, remove guns from public use, from public access. That's just how it is. So, you know, in my opinion, it's not the fucking video games. It's not, you know, because you have to understand, in the video games, you have to look at the comparisons. In a video game, Call of Duty or Black Ops or whatever these games are about war. And in the scenarios that they're painted are, you're being flown into a country of an enemy combatant, into another theater of war, and these people want to kill you, or they want to invade your country, or they want to take your resources. They're going to use their military to do it, and you're there to combat them. You're not seeing scenarios where motherfuckers are going into fucking schools in the video game and shooting up kids, or shooting up teenagers in college or whatever, or going to supermarkets and stuff like that and shoot people up. So there's no real link or connection or between that and going into the real world and going, oh, well, since I went into another country as a commando or an army and a soldier in the army, and I'm fighting against these people who have nuclear weapons and they're planning to attack my country, you cannot compare that to a psychopath or a nut job going into a school or to a college or into a supermarket or to a movie theater and shooting it up. That's just bullshit. What's the other? Oh, the third reason is the prevalence of the medicated legal drug culture. Supposedly he was on medications. They said the Holmes guy was on medications. The Columbine shooters themselves, they were heavily medicated, supposedly. And they're saying that because of how these medications change the chemistry of the brain or some shit, it creates a sort of dissociation between reality and what is real and what is not. And these people, in terms of trying to deal with their situation, their problems, they, you know, take guns and start shooting people. Honestly, I can't comment on that. I really don't have knowledge about how medication changes your brain and shit like that. It could be just motherfuckers putting stuff out in media to stop them from banning guns. I don't know. Do your own research on that. But there are documentaries on the whole medicated drug culture, legal drug culture, in which in particular the school systems, and in particular African American boys, that there is this an agenda where any boy that is doesn't fit the mold or whatever is labeled as such, and they have to take some type of medication. They're forced into that. Some kids are forced into what do you call that shit? Special ed, where they're not like fucked up in the head, but they just have learning disabilities. They're normal people. They act, talk, whatever, but they just have learning disabilities, and they go, oh, you're special ed, you're labeled as such. We're gonna give you a medical term. We're gonna label you with a medical term, and you're gonna have to take these medications and blah blah. This is very prevalent in the education system when it comes to African Americans. Look that up when you get the chance. But yeah, so that along with the actual agenda in the system where boys are being medicated. You're going to start seeing situations where people are starting to snap and this and that, and it's kind of weird. Do your own research into it. Second issue I want to talk about is the gut reaction response by the media and critics and politicians trying to push new gun law legislation. In my opinion, I do not agree with them trying to pass new legislation, new gun laws. I honestly think that it's not going to solve anything, because you can go to Australia. They did that. They banned guns completely from the public use, and gun violence skyrocketed. Like, oh my god. There's like 4 categories where crimes committed by people using guns have skyrocketed. When you get the chance to look that up. So taking guns away is not going to prevent crimes. It's not going to prevent a situation like that from happening. Period. There's this situation, the Oslo situation. I think it's in Berlin, Sweden, one of those Norwegian countries or whatever. When you forget, just type in the Oslo event or situation, and this is when some guy, random dude, goes and he plans out a massive fucking campaign by himself. Like he bombs like the fucking government building that one of the representatives from his country works in. He attacks 2 different locations, and to me, I'm going to talk about this in my next topic. He's seen appearing in 2 different places at the same exact time, shooting up a camp, a global resource camp where kids from all over the country are flown in, and they're sitting together and they're going, oh, we're all big one happy family, and we're learning how to spread globalism and shit like that. So he's found there, and he's found in a school shooting up other people. With something to look into when you get the chance. But I don't agree with the solutions given by the media and politicians on how to solve the problem. Passing stricter gun law regulations is not going to work, because violence actually goes up when you take guns out of the preview of people's hands. Period. And there are other solutions that you can put in place to stop this from happening. Part of the reason why these situations occur is because there are unstable people getting their hands on weapons that are either owned by their parents or friends that they know. So what I think you should do, one of the solutions is, number one, have a government mandate where people must put a heavily fortified like cabinet or something to hold their weapons that's under lock and key. Period. Get some shit put into your like if you're the father and you're in your bedroom, get a specialized cabinet that's like steel proofed or some shit like that, where you keep your guns in, and you put a lock on that shit with a key, and you keep the key on your keychain or some shit, or keep it on you at all times. So when you are in the house, and you're a registered gun owner, let's say you go to work and your kid is at home, your kid can't get into the locker because there's only one copy of the key. You know what I mean? You can't get a copy of that key if going to the locksmith, blah, 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 and that's it. That's all you really need. That way, let's say if you have a mentally disturbed child or a kid who has a mental problem like ADD or autism or whatever, they can't get into the fucking cabinet to get the guns to shoot the fucking people up. Period. It's that simple, in my opinion. There are other solutions. I know they're passing some new shit right now. Some legislation where states near the Mexican border, like from Texas and Utah and whatever that's around there, they're going around all the gun stores, and they're basically going, yo, we need you to provide us with a list of people who registered to get guns and who bought guns within the last like 5-10 years or some shit like that. I'm kind of iffy on that. I'm on the fence because it's kind of like, well, why would you need a list? I mean, if a person commits a crime, they commit a crime, and then you just go and you arrest them, and that's it. I think that's something that's leading on to something else. I'm going to talk about that in the next topic. In the next topic, it's also a question. Do you think there's something odd about this particular situation? It's too perfect. Like, there has always been a movement in the anti-gun um pro legislation where it's kind of like, from since the 1980s. I think before that, like probably before the Waco incident or after that, there has been this movement, pro-gun legislation movement, pushing to either get guns banned or heavily regulated. And it's like, okay, magically all of a sudden within the past year, there have been mass shootings. Like, you haven't seen that ever, period. Like, magically, backstory, Obama has always been anti-gun. He is always part of his agenda to get guns either banned or heavily restricted and regulated. And magically, all of a sudden, at the beginning of his second term, mass shootings start popping up. Like, oh my god, like, are you fucking serious? Like, oh, this school got shot up. Oh, the movie theater got shot up. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, are you fucking serious? Like, you cannot be serious. Like, you do not see that shit does not make sense. Like, magically, it's statistically impossible for all these shootings to pop up at literally bunched up near the certain time of the fucking year. Like, that's complete bullshit. Honestly, in my opinion, I think this is a false flag event trying to push a certain agenda. And for you to go to have this kid who's mentally supposedly disturbed to shoot his mom, and then to go to a school that he has nothing to do with, his mom has nothing to do with, to shoot up the kids in the school and then kill him, and have no reason, no modus operandi why he did it, makes me think that this whole shit was set up. That he was drugged, he was taken to the school, there was like black ops, a wet works team or black ops team who shot up the fucking school, killed any witness that saw what the fuck was going on, and then killed him and dropped him on the floor, and that's it. And then bounced and left. Now, knowing this opinion that I have on it, it's kind of funny to note that the police and the government, the FBI go and they lock down the entire place. So you have no outside sources going in, going, yo, how many bullets got shot, how many clips are on the floor, how many people got hit, how many times did people get hit, stuff like that. And you're getting random updates by the news media, the CNN, CBC, BBC, and all that shit, trying to update people on the situation. And it's like, first it wasn't Adam Lanza, it was Ryan Lanza, and he was the one that did it. And then he was like, oh, it wasn't him. In the beginning, they said, oh, his father died, his father got shot up and killed, and that wasn't true. His father was alive. What else was there? Then it was like, oh, he went in with 2 handguns, and he had like a rifle in his car, and then they changed it to a Bushmaster something, whatever, a semi-automatic gun. And it's magical to say, oh, he wasn't in the school with the semi-automatic gun, but you have to put that in there, like, oh, it was in the back of the car. He was gonna go to the car and get the semi-automatic and kill more people. So, semi-automatics are obviously bad. Bullshit. Then they said, oh, a lot of people got hit more than one time with the guns. He only had 2 handguns. Everyone knows every handgun, the clip only has 9 bullets in it. So if roughly, let's say 60, 70 bullets were fired in the entire place and people got hit more than once, if you have kids getting hit more than once, let's say twice, he would have to have hit both guns like 3 times for him to get that many whatever. So what I want to know is, on the crime scene, how many clips were found on the ground? If there was only 2 clips found on the ground, then that was a setup. That was a setup, because he couldn't have killed 28 people with only 2 guns. That's only 18 bullets collectively, period. And then he can go, okay, well, I loaded both my handguns twice. So click, click. Okay, so now you have, 18, 30, was it 18, 30, 36. So that's 36 bullets, but everyone got hit twice. So for everyone to get hit twice, that's 28 people, he would have to have, fired 56 bullets. Period. 56 bullets, to hit everyone at least twice. And I'm being nice. He could have hit people 3, 4 times, but no, let's, 2 bullets per person. He had to have hit everyone twice. That would have been 56 bullets altogether, meaning he would have to change both handguns 3 times for that to happen. What's the police report? What happened? How many bullet shells were found? Number 1. Number two, what type of bullets were they? Were they 9mm bullets? Were they bullets for M16? Were they bullets for a Bushmaster or whatever? How many clips? Most importantly, how many fucking clips? If you only found 1 or 2 clips on the floor, then that's bullshit. It was a setup. Period. It must have been Black Ops, CIA, some fucking operation, Blackwater motherfuckers going in there, killing up random fucking people, and then bouncing and leaving his ass there and shooting him up and killing him and making it look like a setup. That's just my opinion. There's other things that are floating around about it, about, you know, how his home life was. He was pampered and shit. His mom, that's another funny thing. They're trying to make her seem like the mom was a nutter, like she was a survivalist. She was a prepper survivalist, end of the world person. Let me tell you something. A person who has $1 million home, who gets paid $250,000 a month to take care of the kid. The father being a multi-millionaire working for this fucking company. People like that don't tend to be fucking, they do not tend to be, end of the world preppers. You know what I mean? She had a job. She was a fucking teacher. Preppers tend to be middle American, lower income, lower class, individuals in like the South fucking West, Southern country type people who are Bible thumpers and shit, and they have regular jobs, and they're not nutty, but they see things evolving to something they don't want to see. You know what I mean? This woman does not appear at all to be a survivalist nutter, period. If you look at her house, they said it was heavily fortified. What the fuck you mean it was heavily fortified? It was a fucking house, normal house with 2 driveways, curtains, white paint on the fucking shit, and that's it. It was no fortification in fucking shit. So stop your bullshit. Yeah, I think people need to look into that, because you, like, look at survivalists and see what type of people they are, and see where they live, what their beliefs are, what their ideologies are, and then you'll see that she was not a survivalist. That was bullshit. Period. Yeah, that's it. Take care. Deuces. And look into it. I really feel people should look into it. I really think it was a false flag event to try to push gun legislation. Like, I really honestly think that. That's it. Peace.